Hello and welcome to the first of these videos where I'm going to be going over the differences between vectors and scalars. Starting off with the easier of the two, what is a scalar? Well, a scalar is a numerical value that describes the magnitude of some quantity. So, if I asked you what temperature it was today and you answered 75 degrees, this will be a scalar value, because in this case, the numerical value describing the magnitude is 75 and your unit is going to be degrees Fahrenheit. So this shows how all values that describe temperature are scalars. What about other types of scalars? Well, another type of scalar is mass. If you have a weight that weighs 10 kilograms, for example, this is a scalar value. Why? Because you have a number that describes the magnitude of your mass, which is given in kilograms. But what is the difference between scalars and vectors? Well, vectors, in addition to having a magnitude associated with them, also have a direction associated with them. This demonstrates why these are not vector quantities, as there is no direction that we associate with either kilograms or with degrees Fahrenheit. What are some examples of vectors in that case? Well, a difference between two quantities that I think illustrates what vectors are is the difference between velocity and speed. So, starting off with the scalar version, what is speed? Well, if I told you that a ball was being thrown at 50 miles per hour, 50 miles per hour is a speed. Why is it a speed? Well, because it's a scalar value. And since we remember from what I just said that scalar values have a numerical value associated with the magnitude of your quantity, in this case miles per hour, we can show that this is a scalar value because it doesn't have a direction associated with it. Velocity is different, however. As to describe velocity, we need both the direction of the object and its speed. But why do we care about this? Well, in the case of this ball traveling at 50 miles per hour, if I asked you, for example, how far will this ball travel, you wouldn't be able to answer this question unless you knew the initial angle at which the ball was thrown, which in this case can just be some generic angle theta. By adding this angle theta, we have now described both the speed and the direction of the ball, meaning that this is now a vector as it has both a magnitude and a direction. That is all for today's video. If you're still unclear about the differences between vectors and scalars, please let me know, and hope you have a good day.